Evening. Welcome to Dimitri Cinema. I'm your host Dimitri, and we today we're going to be talking about Michael, which was a really good movie, by the way. Sorry, so late into doing a stream on it, but it's going to be well worth it, in my opinion. All right, let's kick it off. We got Michael Jackson, Jafar Jackson, as Michael Jackson, young Michael Jackson, um, Giuliano Crew, uh, Valadi Joseph, as Joe Jackson. Coleman Domini as Catherine Jackson. Um, and Nia Long. Actually, Nia Long plays Catherine Jackson. Sorry. Um, John Branco Branca. I think I'm saying his name right. He's the attorney. He plays Michael's attorney. Then you got hmm, Suzanne D. Pacey. She plays Laura Hare. Then you have Quincy Jones, who's played by Kendrick Sampson. Um, then you have Walter Van Kinkoff, Mike Myers, Bill Bray plays the bodyguard. Uh, Helen Durrell, she, I think I say the name right, Helen Durrell. Um, Helen Durrell Jones, the Jackson Five, like the youth. Then you have Judah Edwards, young Tito, and Jaden London, young Jackie, and Jaden Henville, young Jermaine. Right. Was a 9 out of 10. I don't want to be biased. So I'm gonna say, well, I would give it a 10 out of 10. It was a really amazing movie. Um, I feel like Jafar Jackson should win the Oscar for that. I watched it just the first 10 minutes of it, and just watching young Michael coming up and Joe, you know, being Joe, and how he, did the kids and trained them and had them in to the band, and just it was kind of sort of not as similar to the Jackson Five, the New Dream, or whatever, World Dream, New Dream, but it was in around when it first came on, kind of like. Then you see Michael Jackson getting whipped by Joe. Typical, typical story headline for it. I he did really. I think he did an amazing job as Joe Jackson. But Jafar, once it got deeper into Michael going through the Off the Wall to the Thriller album, and then you seen Jafar upcoming, it was just amazing how he did. Was able to. I'm sorry, tone this down. Just amazing how he was able to keep just pull it off, and it's not even just because you know, he's in the Jackson family. He's Michael's nephew, but just to be able to just do that whole talking, it was almost like the best impersonator impersonating Michael Jackson. The only person impersonating Michael Jackson better than Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson, and he did so good. You could tell it took some time and for him to just impact into that character. He's playing his uncle, and just you get his hair the way he sound. It was just like if I close my eyes, I can't tell if Michael's alive or not. It was just that amazing. And I feel, just to break down from it, it was just, I like the way they just made it focus about Michael and straight away from the Jackson Five. You don't want it back to the Jackson Five like the original Jackson Five movie. You want it just about Michael, and it goes for him going into the bad tour. But it was really 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 amazing. I was like I said, I would give that dude an Oscar for how he was able to just pull that off as Michael, just the way he sang. And some people might debate, hey, he didn't look like Michael. He's not as yeah, he's his nephew, but he don't look exactly like Michael. Forget all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what he did on film, like how he was able to just he embodied Michael to the point it was like, mind you, kind of how Denzel embodied Malcolm X, Will Smith embodied Ali, you know, uh, Jamie Foxx embodied Ray Charles. When you embody a biography by, it's something different than taking towards getting into a character that's made up and they say, here's a script, here's what you playing, you go over that and you bring that to life. When you're playing a bio, you're playing somebody that already existed, and that's just a different level. You know, that's a different to me. You got acting, and then you have playing you know, a bio of somebody, and then that's a different skill level because you have to be the person that actually existed. You ain't making up somebody that's, you know what I mean. I'm playing John Wright, some character that's made up in Equalizer 5. I could do that. You know, have art, I can do that. But when you say, hey, here, play Sammy Davis Jr., that's a different skill set. You know what I'm saying? So we can't, we have to take in consideration, and appreciate some of these actors that can just really embody characters like that, or, people that, we looked up to, people that existed, you know. I'm hearing they're working on a Prince film next. They were supposed to had did Richard Pryor. Mike Epps had a role, and I don't know what happened after that, but he was talking about how he was, when he did his comedy, he went on a stage and he was going into character as Richard, prepping for it, and you could see how a lot of people can see how he was just like you could see the mannerisms he was, and then the project dropped. So, but Prince is coming. Uh, I know they had a Mike Tyson bio that Jamie Foxx was supposed to did. Don't know what happened with that, but it seems like every time they get a project and then pick up steam, doesn't don't fall through. So let's just hope, a lot of these projects upcoming, you know, go through and they actually get down to business on it. But yeah, the only thing I kind of the movie was awesome, but I didn't get to see much of Janet. And I know it's focused on Michael. I get it. You don't want to no distractions from the other family, but it's like you got to have like sort of small, you know, parts in there because she was a big part of his life, even upcoming. Like Michael and Janet made noise because Janet was on Good Times, upcoming actress. You know, and she didn't start her singing career till later when she was older. Michael started young, and then you know we all know what happened after that. So yeah, the movies was really amazing, man. It was like to the point where I ain't got to eat popcorn. I'm watching a movie where I ain't got to eat popcorn. That means it's good. So, but I'm just like it shocked me. I was shocked. And then Lorenz Tate, he played Barry Gordy. He embodied that too. Like I don't think nobody embodied their characters as much as their bio as much as Jafar did. But well, Joe was pretty good, but it was not too far behind him. And we ain't seen Lorenz Tate in a while. So to see him get up there and just, you know, do a film that we ain't seen him in so long, it was good to see him back on the big screen again. And then to do Barry Gordy, I thought that was a pretty good pick. But surprisingly, this movie was really, really good. I really just thought it was just going to be his nephew portraying him, as a, you know, my, Michael Jackson. And, we all disappointed because we love Michael Jackson, but I didn't think he would do a really good job. I think this dude had to really, really every day be in character of his uncle. Talk low like the voice how Michael did, and just do that all day. I mean, it's the way these actors do when they go through these parts, the way they practice and the way they go crazy for these roles just to get them done and do really good. I mean, if a guy says Jack Nicholson turned into a drunk playing the Joker, Heath Ledger ended up dying, just taking sleep. I think it was sleeping pills, or you know, he took on Joker. Those are big. That's like those are big characters to try to fill. When you do that, you put so much into it to you find yourself outside of your realm of what you normally are. And I think I said that happened with Heath Ledger with the Joker. Just taking pills, staying up, staying up, staying up. You know what I'm saying? Try to take on that character. You don't want to mess this up. So, but that's that's what you call somebody perfect. Staying on that craft, being perfected. Somebody that take their job serious. Denzel, like when you serious like that, Michael Jordan was serious when he played basketball. He practiced every day. Whatever. Jerry Rice got to throw that in there. He was serious when athletes, they get serious. They practice, they practice, they practice. Actors, they get serious. They practice, they practice, they practice. You're working on your craft. Singers, the same way. You know, Whitney Houston, you know, you, you got them out there. So the real professionals, the ones their passion and their competitiveness, everything is they do that. They go deep into that. So actors that really take time and just go crazy with it, I really, 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 I look up to that. I respect that, and me, in the world of judging movies, I I take that in very well. I acknowledge that. I really appreciate actors that go out their way in and embody a character. Take it really serious. But overall, it was a really good. It was a really good movie. Like I said, just the Janet part, I felt like they could have did more. Maybe added more Janet into it, and you seen little things here and here with Latoya and Bubbles. Bubbles CGI. That was pretty funny. Um, it was really, 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 really good. Once it got deeper into the going into the bad tour, when and you just seen a relationship between Michael and Joe, where how Michael was just kind of like, you know, you can't let this guy like just take over me no more. He hired the one guy to his I think it was his agent or whatever to fire his dad. That's how serious he was. And movie kind of remind me a little bit too, believe it or not. The style of it was kind of like Air, the movie Air, where about Michael Jordan coming up signing the shoe, the Nike or whatever, and how he blew up globally, and it was just it kind of reminded me of that movie with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Chris Tucker. Uh, had a nice all star cast, but it reminded me of that field a little bit because I like that movie too. But yeah, most of the part, yeah, this is a really, really, really extremely amazing film. And I think you guys should go see this. I would, if you're not a Michael Jackson fan, before you go see it, just start listening to some of his music. You know, look at some of his interviews, and you'll get a good feel of who he was more to what you know. So Michael really good, amazing film. I ain't gonna say you go see it because it's not ain't in theaters no more. But like I said, I apologize for the late review of this movie. Just getting past a lot of things, being busy or whatever, a lot of stuff going on. So try to stay on top of my reviews. But this was really good, and I already own it, so I'll watch it. I think I've seen this movie. I watched it 6 times already. That's how much I like it. So if you ain't seen it yet, Amazon, uh, you can rent it or you can own it. So see the movie Michael, and I'm gonna be talking more about upcoming movies. I want to do the Odyssey, but I got other projects in mind that I want to, bring forth to y'all. So you guys check out Michael, and you guys let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll see you soon.